Our story this week is about a man named Elimelech and his wife Naomi. They had two boys whose names were Mahlon and Chilion. And they were a happy family, except there was one big problem. There was a famine in the land where they lived, and a famine means that there isn't enough food growing, probably because there's not enough rain to water the crops. And so everybody was hungry. And so Elimelech and Naomi decided that they would take their two boys and they would go to a foreign country called Moab. And there they would be able to have enough to eat. So they moved to Moab, and there they lived happily again. And the boys grew up and they got married. And one of them married a girl named Orpah, and the other married a girl named Ruth. And they all lived happily together until, sadly, Elimelech died. And then, one by one, Mahlon and Chilion also died. And then it was just Naomi and Orpah and Ruth. And they were very, very sad. One day Naomi learned that there was food again in the land of Israel, and she decided that she was going to go back. So she told Orpah and Ruth, I'm going to go back to Bethlehem in Israel, and that's where I'm going to be close to people who love Jesus like I do and like you have learned to. And so all three of them decided that they would go. And as they were walking along the road, Naomi said, you know, you would be happier staying in your own country near your own families, and maybe you'll even get married again. Why don't you go back? And Orpah and Ruth said, no, we love you, Naomi. We want to come with you. And as they talked, finally Orpah decided, okay, I will go back. And so she went back to her family. And Naomi said to Ruth, don't you want to go back too? And Ruth said, no. Wherever you go, I will go. And where you live, I will live. Your people can be my people. And your God, I'm choosing for my God too. And so they went together to Bethlehem, where Naomi lived. And all the people were so happy to see Naomi, and they were interested to meet Ruth as well. They didn't have a whole lot when they got there, so Naomi told Ruth to go out to a field that belonged to a man named Boaz. And Boaz and his men were gathering some grain in the field, and Ruth went, and she was able to take her basket and pick up the loose grain in the field that the reapers dropped. And she got her basket and she took it back to Naomi, and they were able to eat that food, and she would go back every day and get more grain from Boaz's field. Well, eventually Ruth and Boaz got married, and that made Naomi happy, but something made her even happier, because one day a little baby boy was born to Ruth. Now she had a baby, and Naomi and Boaz were both very happy. Do you know Ruth made a choice? She left her family, her country, where people didn't believe in God, and decided that she wanted the true God in heaven to be her God too. And she became the great-grandmother of somebody special that we're going to talk about in a few more lessons, who became a king of Israel. Ruth was happy because she chose Jesus and made him first in her life. And when you choose to make Jesus first in your life too, you will be happy as well. Our memory verse this week comes from the book of Ruth, chapter 1 and verse 16. It says, your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Those are the words that Ruth spoke to Naomi when she decided that she would join her on the trip back to Bethlehem. I want you to spend a minute now and tell your mom and dad the memory verse, Ruth 1:16. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God.